had you, kids.
You had me at hello.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
This seems so fun.
There's no place like home.
I'm gonna make him an offer down with you.
So House of Gucci is divisive, being the Ricardos is good, and now pigs can fly. Not really, but the other two are actually true. The latter is not. This is Gone with the Wind. Cue the music. Hey everybody, the gang is all here today, and this is Gone with the Wind, the show about award shows where we talk about, you guessed it, award shows. I'm your host, Manning Franks, and today we have, we have the full panel back since Lord knows how long, because my schedule, it's on me. Well, a lot of the times also we had to do everyone's schedules has been hectic and chaotic, but we are back at our regularly scheduled 4 p.m. Eastern time. Thank you, Daylight Saving Time. Ending here in America. We don't like you. Go away. I'm not sure if that's a hot take, but speaking of hot takes, we have Malcolm Hot Takes Lay. Malcolm, why are you hot takes today?
Anyone that follows me on Facebook will already know, but yeah, I'll probably get into that a little bit more later.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this. All of us here know what he's going to say, but it's definitely a hot take. I mean, it's not the hottest of hot takes because I don't necessarily disagree. We'll hear about it in a second. But also here, right below him, and in the box below him, is Dan, the man, Skip Allen.
I'm glad I'm back with the gang again. You know, I miss everybody. I kind of miss everybody. You know, I miss all Malcolm's hot takes. I miss Abe saying that he's got to hurry up because he's going to go see a movie that I saw 2 weeks ago. But it's all fun.
And Abe, we are happy you are here, sir, and your internet is working. Knock on wood, because I know you had a tree.
You know, Manny, I would have been here before if you don't want to start shooting at 7 a.m. in the morning, my time. I will not want to wake up for that. After 10 a.m., that's good. 10 a.m., that's my line.
Yes, we had to postpone last week's because I could not do it unless it was like super early in the morning, and that's because I had a gig this Sunday. And as Abe, you told me, I think you said money comes before Gone with the Wind or something like that, and you are correct. Paying taxes is a lot better.
Yeah,
but not really. It doesn't do good for the heart, but it does good for making sure that my body has food in it. And my bills are paid on time. But anyway, yes, we are all here today. We're going to be discussing, because I like literally a whole bunch of movie reviews and reactions have dropped since basically we talked last time. And it's literally like, as we were saying beforehand, all but two. It's Nightmare Alley and West Side Story, which are the only two without any reactions so far. But the rest so far we have heard from, and we have thoughts and opinions. Well, we don't, but the film Twitter and different critics do, and they kind of give us a barometer about what we can expect coming the Oscar season. But before that, I want us to get into what we have seen this past week. So Malcolm Hot Takes Lay, tell us, what have you seen? And I think one of those has to do with your hot take.
Yeah, like in the past weekend, I just watched all the Home Alone movies, even the bad ones, just because I wanted to. And they're all on Disney Plus now. So, but yeah, I mean, I found that I liked Home Alone 3 a little bit more than the original one, but both of those two are just close together and could change back. Could change back around at again next time I do the watch. But the new Home Alone it's fun at times. It's just not good. Which is like when you got a stacked cast as it was, a lot of them just felt really wasted and just there for no reason whatsoever. But I mean, I did like that they decided to flip it a little bit and put the focus more on the robbers as opposed to the kids would change. But yeah, and we got a fun Easter egg to what Kevin is up to nowadays.
Really?
There's a sign. If you look closely in the background, there's a sign on the lawn going, "This house is protected by McAllister Home Protection."
That's fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I mean, like even his brother Buzz makes a cameo appearance and talks about how Kevin keeps prank calling him, saying kids been home alone when they're not. But other things I've watched since they've been off, I finally got around to watching Enchanted, because once again that finally dropped on Disney
Hey.
Plus. I saw The Green Knight a while back. There's Nico. Was it Nico? I watched Need for Speed. I watched Eternals, which I really loved. I thought it was a great movie. But yeah.
That's awesome. And I have thoughts also too about Eternals there with you. But Dan, what have you seen this past week and a half, basically?
Well, I'll talk about my streaming service stuff first. Then I'll get into my actual theatrical things that I've watched. The Harder They Fall, starring Jonathan Majors, Idris Elba, Regina King, with Keith Stanfield, Zazie Beetz. That's just a handful of the people that are in this movie. And it is from director James Samuel, and it is on Netflix right now. You can watch it. It is fantastic. This guy really has a feel of how the Western is supposed to be created on the written side and the directed side. All the main characters are in the movie are real people. The story that takes place is not a real story, but the people that they play is real, and it's a really fun Western, and they're all real people. They're all playing real people, and it's really a great Western. You want to see a great Western? Watch The Harder They Fall. Also, I saw Red Notice. I don't recommend that as much. It's got The Rock, Gal Gadot, and Ryan Reynolds. It's okay. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. I mean, I guess there's going to be a sequel from what I'm gathering from various outlets. People are interviewing people, and they're talking about a potential sequel. So it's okay. It's not awful. It's not great. It's like right in the middle. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. That's also on Netflix right now. I got screeners for The Wheel of Time, which is coming on Amazon next Friday, about 5 days from now when we're recording this. And I got the first 6 episodes, so I still have to watch the last 2 because they didn't give those to me. I mean, I've seen so many science fiction, like fantasy type movies and shows. It just seems like
not. Huh? Does it not feel distinct enough? Is what you're going to say?
No, it doesn't. It feels like a mix of Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings mashed together. And the only redeeming quality for me, I mean, it's okay. I mean, is Rosamund Pike as the main kind of, well, she's not the main character, but she's like the most noticeable actress in the show because it focuses on 5 teens or upper teens, like 18, 19, 17, 18, 19, early, like late teens. And one of them is supposedly going to be the savior of the planet or whatever. It's like, okay, we haven't seen, and we have these like orc-like creatures called, oh God, I can't think of the name.
They did look like orcs, though. You're right. When I saw the trailer, I'm like, these are orcs.
They have a name for it. Then there's a guy that's running them, and he's got no eyes and a like crazy teeth and a weird. I mean,
looked scary. I will say that looked scary.
But we've seen that before too. We've seen characters like this before in like a Guillermo del Toro movie or whatever. But I didn't hate The Wheel of Time. I only saw 6 episodes. So I still have to see the last 2 episodes to really determine whether I love it or hate it or if I'm in the middle. But I did write a review, and my review should be out on Wednesday based on the 6 episodes I saw. Also, in the theater, I saw a lot of movies. A lot of movies, guys.
Oh, nice.
You mentioned it earlier, Encanto. Oh my God, what an absolutely gorgeous. I mean, gorgeous. It's from the people that did Moana. It's obviously Disney animation, but it's Moana's kind of group or whatever. and they just the skin tones, the facial textures, the hair, but then the colors and the surrounding areas are just so vibrant and colorful and gorgeous and beautiful. It takes place in Colombia, in a jungle in Colombia, and it's about a family that lives in this house in the middle of the jungle, and they're all gifted. They all have gifts, and the one main character doesn't get a gift. And that's basically the whole focus of the story, is about her and how she interacts with her family and this crazy house that they live in. Casita, I believe it's called. Casita is a house in Spanish. I think. But oh my God, I love this movie. There's only one little thing I didn't like about it, and that's, you know what? I'm not even going to say what I didn't like about it. I want people to see it, and hopefully maybe they'll judge for what they don't. Maybe they like it. I don't know. Maybe it was the theater I was in that kind of soured me on this particular thing. But and my review will be out tomorrow for Encanto. So if you want to read my review, it'll be out. I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars.
Nice.
Also, Belfast. Belfast. Ooh. Kenneth Branagh's Best Picture Contender, starring Jamie Dornan, Katsiana Balfe, Jude Hill, Tyrion Hines, and Judi Dench. It's a great film. There's no doubt about the great performances, great story. I just felt like there's a movie called 71 that's out a couple years ago, and then there's another one called something of My Father with Daniel Day-Lewis about the Irish Civil War with England, and I just felt
like The Name of the Father, is that
The Name of the Father? Yeah. They end up getting arrested for being in the Irish Civil War. They do in that movie. But 71 is a couple years after this film, and this film takes place in 69. But I just felt like it was just too clean, too crisp, the black and white, I think, didn't do this film justice. I think maybe putting it in color, we would have got more of a texture of the dirt and the grime and the war aspects of it. I think the black and white made it look too pristine to me, and that's my only little gripe I have with Belfast.
Interesting,
but it is definitely a Best Picture contender. It's going to be in the mix for Best Picture. There's no doubt about it. Also, King Richard. Did I talk about that before? Have I talked about?
No, but we can. Well, we're going to try to do the review for that next week as well. So you can give us your quick thoughts upon that.
Yeah. Look, the bottom line is this: Will Smith is going to win an Academy Award. If he doesn't,
so confident.
If he does not win the Academy Award, it's an absolute travesty. He is amazing. He is absolutely amazing in this film as the father of these two girls, going through what he did from Compton, California, to get these girls to be where they are. And he had a mission. He had a drive to get these girls to succeed. And there was a lot of ups and downs in this whole story, more than you would think. Obviously, being from Compton, California, and trying to become tennis players is a very huge obstacle in and of itself, so there's that. As far as King Richard goes, it's one of my favorite films of the year. Right now. Also an animated film that one of our guests that we had, we did an animated show, Josie the Tiger and the Fish. Josie the Tiger and the Fish.
Oh wow.
One of the best animated films of the year that nobody even knows about. This film is incredible. It has to be on the best animated in the the conversation for best animated feature of the year. It is a great film. Has great messages. I'm sure there's other things that I've seen, but I've been speaking for so long that I'll give someone else a chance to talk.
Well, hey, there's a lot, because again, we took basically a week off, and we focused last week on just doing the Spencer review, which again, you can hear our spots upon Spencer. It's in the podcast feed. It's on YouTube. We got that out in our first series of Contender reviews, where we're going to take one movie a week and we're going to be dissecting and talking about that so we can spend an hour discussing instead of devoting just time to the podcast of reviewing a movie that they may not have seen. Oh, yes, Dan?
One more. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I forgot about this one. And this is a movie. Now, speaking of Mr. Hot Takes over here, I have a bad feeling he's going to like this. It's Clifford the Big Red Dog. Oh, my God.
Yes.
Was this bad. Man, was this bad. Why did they have Clifford talk? I'm sorry, spoiler. Clifford doesn't talk.
He talks in the show to the other
I love
dogs.
the show. John Ritter, one of my favorite people of all time. John Ritter is the voice of Clifford in the PBS show. And God, I think it really lost something in translation, not having the dog talk. But oh God, the dog can't talk. Big red dog can't talk. I mean, it's fantasy. It's fake. It's not real. And then they try to make it like some kind of a idea of how the dog is created, how it becomes a big red dog. And it's like, that doesn't make any sense. And I know I'm talking about a big red dog here. All right. And Tony Hale has a company, and oh God, I didn't like it. I have a feeling Malcolm's going to love it. I don't know why. I just have a feeling.
I mean, I love the Clifford books. I never actually saw the show, but the dog doesn't talk in the books. So,
all right.
That is fair. And again, maybe they could have just added him, I don't know, talking to some other dogs or something. Maybe not even talking to, what's her name? Mary Elizabeth, I think is what her name is. Am I wrong?
Yeah,
okay.
Mary Elizabeth, yep.
Mary Elizabeth. I do remember some things.
In the movie. Emily Elizabeth in the movie.
No, there we go. We now know what Clifford is like. When we thought we were never going to get it this year, we actually got it, and Dan actually gave us his thoughts about it. So I'm probably gonna not see it if I have the chance to see it, and I'm probably just gonna avoid it. Maybe, I don't know. It just does not look appealing to me. But I'm curious with your reaction, Dan, and I want to hear everyone else's reaction. I might be able to go check it out when it comes actually on streaming. Because
it's on streaming right now on Paramount Plus.
Of course it is.
Past Wednesday.
Abe, sir, what have you seen?
Money?
Yes.
What have I haven't seen a lot because I have a shitty schedule of work. But I finally
have a new job, yes.
Yeah, and it's like the schedule. The job not. I like the job. Just want to put a record. Oh no, I finally watched Zero Van Hansen. That movie is weird. It's the weirdest thing I've seen. You know what it remind me of? What's the name? The Book of Henry? That's the name of the movie? It has the... Whoa, is that kind of weird that you don't know what to feel about it? Because it shows you a really dramatic scene and then it goes to a really fun song about friendship, a fake friendship, and this guy is bad and this is happening, and then you feel like emotionally manipulated by the performance and what's happening. And then you think about it a little bit and you say, no, this guy is an asshole. This guy is a bad person. And it's just a roller coaster of emotions that at the end I did not enjoy.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, now your hot take. Anything else you've seen that...
It's not a hot take, man. It's a take.
It's not. It's an actual take. It's a hot take. It was a hot take years ago when it won all those Tonys on Broadway, and now I feel like people have cooled on it. I don't know. It was a hot take years ago.
I was wondering how does that work on stage? Like, how does that?
I have no idea.
Apparently, it's a lot different on stage, but I've never seen it on stage. And I mean, I know a lot of when this came out, like everyone's like, "Oh, they should make a movie of it." Now the movies came out, like, why do they make a movie?
Yeah, I think we're learning that maybe not every Broadway musical needs to be made into a movie. So I'm curious about how Wicked's going to turn out now that we have casting for that.
I mean, it's one of those ones that I think, especially with the subject matter of this, when they wrote the musical, the mental health thing, it was all different. It's all changed since, and I think they should have updated the movie to reflect that, but from what I understand, they didn't.
Paul, again, I have not seen the movie, nor have I seen the musical. I'm not opposed to doing it. It's just another one that I kind of avoided because I wanted to watch something else that... Because it's 2 hours and 30 minutes, isn't it? It's really long.
No, 2:17, I think.
2:17? Okay, so it's a little bit more than I anticipated it being.
Yeah, I mean, it's about the length of what the musical could probably be, because most musicals or plays, for that matter, is typically an hour Act 1 or maybe a little bit. Act 1's usually a little bit longer than about 50 minutes for Act 2. So
that makes sense with a 20-minute intermission or something like that.
Yeah.
Anything else you saw, Ed?
This week? No,
nothing.
No,
All right.
no. I want to watch
Oh.
Tick Tick Boom. I've been trying to watch it. It's
Hey,
on
it comes
Netflix
out this
right now,
week.
right?
Friday.
Oh, it's this week? Oh, I
Friday.
thought it was on Netflix right now.
It came out to theaters for a week, which makes me curious as to why. We'll get to that in a second. But Dan, what did you see?
Finch, Tom Hanks. I guess he's got this deal with Apple right now, and I'll be honest, I've seen so much better post-apocalyptic movies. Yeah, there's a robot and a dog, and you're supposed to feel cool about this robot and his dog. A lot of CGI, bad weather, and whatnot. I mean, Finch was okay. It wasn't great. It wasn't awful, but it's in the middle. Finch. I mean, if you got Apple Plus, go see it because it's Tom Hanks. But
for me, myself, I haven't seen as many films this past week as I would have hoped. I've been spending a lot of time either working or editing podcasts. One of the ones that I did devote my time to go seeing was I went to see Eternals about a week and a half ago, and hot take, this is one of Marvel's best, in my opinion. To me, this is one of Marvel's best films not because it's a perfect movie, mainly based upon the fact that it is one of the most interesting films and it tackles some really deep themes in regards to what does it mean to be human, but also what do you do when you have all this absolute power and you realize your purpose in life is counterintuitive to what you initially perceived your purpose to be. It has some great, almost tragic Shakespearean themes, and I think it's one of the most ambitious Marvel films, and I adore it because it kind of works better when it's not a Marvel film, if that makes sense. When it doesn't try to ask questions about Thanos and do all these weird little side things, it's like, I don't think about it. Don't think about why there suddenly now is a celestial corpse that's just hanging out in the ocean now and no one ever saw anything. Don't think about that. Just enjoy the themes that it presents, because I think as an isolated film, Eternals works really well, and I really, really enjoy it. So yeah, I love Eternals.
I mean, I think we're from the way the Rotten Tomatoes are, I think we're alone on the hot. It's so weird for our hot takes being that our movie's good.
Yeah, our movie's good.
I just want to make a point about what Malcolm said real quick. The fact of the matter is, certain people just can't get over certain things in life. And the fact that they're going to go and review bomb Eternals because of one scene that they don't agree with certain countries, it's blasphemy. You know, it's a bunch of crap. And that's why you can't look at Rotten Tomatoes ratings and stuff. You have to just go watch the movie for yourself and say what you feel about what you saw. Good, bad, or indifferent. That's the bottom line. I never pay attention to the Rotten Tomatoes, but I mean, I was actually talking more about on the critics side. I was like, can't believe the critics would review bomb the movie.
Well, the thing is, the people when they look at Rotten Tomatoes, people always judge it wrong. It's not 40-something% of critics, which it was like I think last time I checked. 40% of critics. It's like it doesn't have like a 40%. It means 40-something% of critics liked it. The rest did not like it. People do that wrong. Look at the number underneath where it gives you an average out of 10. That's what you should look at. People misjudge Rotten Tomatoes and just abuse that number way too many times. They use it in marketing too often, I think, as well, too, to try to have the barometer for the end-all be-all of what film criticism is. But no, I think that, hey, if people have varying opinion of the quality of the film, and if it didn't work for them, if they were thinking, wow, this doesn't, if this doesn't work for them, like I know Dan Merle didn't care for it, and that's okay for someone to not like it. Now that doesn't necessarily mean that, it's that anyone's else opinion is invalid. It's just, I find it funny that, funny's the wrong word. I find it ironic that this film, it was highly ambitious. You look at something like Black Widow, which is more paint by numbers. I guess more weight was put on the idea of Black Widow, which is fine. At the end of the day, I think it's fine in comparison to Eternals, which I think is phenomenal, but it's messy. People aren't going to deny it's very messy. But again, I appreciate the ambition. I think I said in our Spencer review, because I didn't care for Spencer, but I appreciate it because if you're going for a home run and if you miss and you only get a single or a double, I still give you a lot of props because you tried something different and out of your wheelhouse.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll probably get into more on late night because we'll be talking about Eternals anyway. But for me, I think a lot of people went into this expecting the typical Marvel flair that they've always been used to, and because Chloe Zhao's style was really different from what the other Marvel movies have, MCU movies have been to this point.
Mhm.
So, and it's obviously not going to gel for everyone. I mean, I think some people are saying if you didn't like Nomadland, you probably won't like Eternals because I mean, I don't know if that's entirely true, but
I don't necessarily think it is. I think, again, I'd love to do. I haven't done a full-on deep dive about what didn't work for Eternals. Some people thought it was bloated or messy, and I'm curious as to. I think if you looked past that, I think people will enjoy. We'll talk about it another time, but I think you just needed to look past that and just kind of delve into the fact of like, okay, this is what they're trying to say. This is what the message of Eternals is, and you can give some of the maybe messiness of the time jumps a slide and look exactly what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
I don't know. But for me, another one that I saw, The Harder They Fall, Dan, I agree with you completely. It is an absolute blast, Harder They Fall. It's not God's gift to Western cinema, but what it is that it is just an absolute blast. And if you take it at face value, because a movie knows exactly what it is, it doesn't try to do anything more than that. It's like, hey, this is a fun time with a little bit of heart thrown into there. If you just look at it like that, it'll be a fun time out on your streaming Netflix site. Personally, it's just kind of as I described it on News 2, which you can find that review on our website as well as our YouTube channel for WFMY News 2 in Greensboro. I said that it is I think it is an injection of pure adrenaline, where it feels like you're just having an absolute ball. It's a blast. This film. And the actors give it their all, and I give them massive props. Maybe like something will come of it in the sense of like, oh, hey, this might get a sound nom. I don't think so, but hey, it's a cool thing because when's the last great Western we had? True Grit or something? Maybe, I don't remember.
True Grit, that's it.
There probably is one we're forgetting, and it's gonna hit me like in the middle of the night. I'll be like, oh God, we forgot this movie between here. But until Django Unchained. When was that? 2013? Yeah, well, Django Unchained. That is. I guess you're right, but I don't.
I
care
would
for
call
Django,
it a Western. That's more of a kind of Civil War movie. I don't know. The West
revisionist
Civil
Western.
War. Yeah. Okay. All right.
So, and then also the one that I saw too. Hateful Eight. That is true. See, I did forget something. I did another revisionist Western. Tarantino loves his revisionist Westerns. I also saw. I literally. Oh yeah, that's true. I guess nothing really popped out to me in comparison to True Grit. See, Abraham's doing the Lord's work over here. Was that before 20? Was that after 2010?
A couple years ago. Bone Tomahawk was a couple years ago.
Yeah.
What's the name of the movie that has? It's directed by Scott Cooper. That has Christian Bale and Rosamund Pike.
Hostiles. Yeah. I guess that's a Western. That's more of a Western light. I wouldn't necessarily call that a Western, but regardless, another one that I saw was I literally just finished it. I wouldn't consider that to be a full Western, but it's stylized.
I think I'm just thinking about desert movies.
You're thinking about desert films, but that's not a Western.
Star Wars is a great Western.
You're right. Yeah, I love Star Wars. Wonderful Western. Bang bang. Dune's a Western, as we said. Anyway, another one that I saw was that I really, really enjoyed and just finished today was Pig. I actually saw Pig today, and what a surprising film. I did not expect to love it. It's simple. There are, I guess, some themes of like, just kind of, I guess, devotion in your past and kind of some commentary upon, I guess, the culinary world. I'm not sure. I'm not in the culinary world, so I can't really say if that's true to life of some of the mentality that they have going into there. Easily the most powerful scene is Nicolas Cage when he's dissecting one of his former students. If y'all have seen Pig, you know what scene I'm talking about. That scene to me is just fantastic between I don't know who the other actor was against Nicolas Cage, but Nicolas Cage is incredibly subdued in this role in comparison to some other stuff we've seen him in the past. He's not, as people have called him, unhinged in the past when he's been acting. He's very deliberate, and I utterly adored him in this. I was hung on every word that he was saying. The movie's strange in the fact that there's some quote, no sport, well, maybe spoiler, I don't know. There's an underground chef. It's not really a spoiler. It's more of a weird coincidence. 20 minutes into the movie, there's an underground fighting ring for chefs, which they kind of go into. It's odd, but you know what? Why not? It just kind of works. And I utterly just enjoyed his performance. And also Alex Wolff, or is it Nate Wolff? I can't remember. Is it Alex or Nate Wolff? It is Alex Wolff. Okay. Alex Wolff is great in this. In the as basically I would call him a co-lead, honestly, as we get into it. Their minimal amount of chemistry that they do have, and they were great. And I think they're both phenomenal in a very small, intimate movie that I'd love this movie to get more recognition just based upon the fact that it's just such a well done film. I don't even know what genre to put it in. It's just so strange but amazing. Revenge thriller. But also, like, it's not really, there's no, like, big thriller elements of, like, I'm going to get revenge on this man, which he's more like, I'm going to go save my pig, as the trailers kind of say, which out of context seems odd, but it's really good. I really enjoyed Pig, and I recommend you all go see it just to see Nicolas Cage's great performance.
Yeah, man, real quick. How about a double feature of Old and Pig? I did an Alex Wolff double feature that day. How about that double feature? Old Pig. Old Pig. Well, instead of Old Dogs, it's Old Pig. What an interesting double feature, though, right? Old and Pig together.
It's very odd, but befitting because they're also 3 letters.
Yeah. And Alex Wolff, both of them, of all the things. I don't think people would say that for Alex Wolff double feature.
I know. Hey, that kid's going places if he continue to do work like this because he's a fantastic actor, honestly. And those are the movies that we've seen this past week. But y'all are not here just for our thoughts upon movies. We've had a slew of reactions that have recently kind of transfixed the internet. Like literally, I've kind of almost I had to take a moment to write down everything that we have recently heard rumblings about. But this is what we have had recently. We've gotten reactions on. We've gotten reactions of Tick Tick Boom, House of Gucci, Licorice Pizza, Being the Ricardo, Swan Song, and the Tinder Bar. All that has transpired within the past basically week that we have had from basically critic screenings or just being released. All these together, we have had these drop in the past little bit, and they have varying, be it from dropping from AFI or just dropping from critics' press screenings or various other fan screenings. Like for Licorice Pizza, they'll have exclusive screenings over in like LA or New York, not coming here just yet. We'll get that later, hopefully in Thanksgiving around my area. But we've had reactions. And they are varying, to say the least. And I think it's confident to say the Best Picture race is now shaping up now that we have all but 2 movies that we've seen that are in the conversation at the moment kind of premiere. And I want to talk about one big one that released last week. And we got some reactions that are varied all the way from this is horrible and disappointing to this is a beautiful movie of just camp. Guys, we got House of Gucci. We heard some reactions about House of Gucci. And I sent a link to y'all a little bit ago, kind of explaining some of the reactions that we had for House of Gucci. And let me tell you, from absurdly enjoyable to bloated and an uneven mess. Guys, what do you think about the reactions to House of Gucci that we've had recently?
Well, I mean, look, we've had Ridley Scott movies just absolutely bomb. And we've had movies he's made that are just, you think, oh my God, this is going to be an amazing film. And then when you see it, you're like, what the hell was that? The trailer, I mean, and that's all we have to go off of. And the reaction,
true.
The trailer and I mean, I can't wait. I'm seeing it Thursday and I cannot wait. And the cast looks amazing. I mean, Jared Leto is unrecognizable, which sometimes when Jared Leto is unrecognizable, he does his best work. but Lady Gaga, Adam Driver, Al Pacino. I mean, how can we not even just be all in on this movie, whether it's good or bad? Sometimes you got to remember this is a murder for hire type of story.
True.
So it's got to be a wild kind of a story, you know. It's got to be kind of a. Sometimes the true story is wild and then fiction, you know, as they say, you know. So we'll. Hey, I can't wait. Hopefully next week I'll have talk to you guys about it because I'm seeing it Thursday.
Oh, I can't wait. How did this is something that I'm just so like excited about. Like House of Gucci to me is just like I saw the trailers and I utterly adored it. It has gotten so many just like Eric Davis I have this right here from IndieWire basically said that that it's definitely has a Godfather vibe, rich with family betrayal, transformative performances, lots of backstabbing, and it's definitely more serious than it is campy. But then you have immediately you go over to wait a minute. I had it right here. And immediately you go over to okay. You immediately go to Clayton Davis from Variety. He says House of Gucci is quite the animal. Blah blah blah. Lady Gaga eats every morsel of her roll-up. Instantly the most quotable, memeable movie since Borat. So now I'm over here like the entire like. This is just going to be fascinating to see the level of difference in the divisiveness that House of Gucci is going to elicit. Now, I know, Abe, when we talked last time, I took House of Gucci out of my tin for Best Picture. I'm still going to keep it out of Best Picture because of the divisiveness that this is, no matter how big the cast. I'm not sure. We'll talk about actors in a sec. But Abe, now that we know about House of Gucci, what are your thoughts about House of Gucci's divisiveness, to say the least?
I happen to agree with what you said a couple weeks ago. The last time we talked about it. After seeing these reactions, I remember reading one. I don't know if it's in the page you saw us with the reactions, but I remember reading one that was saying that this is what the consulate wanted to be, but didn't.
Yes, that's exactly what Clayton Davis from Variety said.
I don't think it's gonna get there because I don't think the performances are gonna be enough to get the nomination. If you're not talking about Ridley Scott directing or the writing or any other below the line category, if you want to call it one way. I don't think, writing not below the line, but any of those categories under the acting, I find it hard that the overall consensus of the Academy members will want to nominate them as in another awards, shows or award shows. So yeah, I will remove it. I'm still curious about it because since this is what I expected it to be. I wanted it to be great, but it's not. But since seeing the first picture at the beginning of this year of Adam Driver and Lady Gaga with the
snow-covered mountains
in the mountain range, I wouldn't have thought that it was gonna be a best picture or something. Like, I mean, it's the last movie is great. Stay with that one this year.
The last two ones.
I haven't watched House of Gucci, but the last two is great. Stay with that one. If I want to still go watch House of Gucci when it comes out.
Oh yeah.
And you can wait for our review the first week of December after Thanksgiving, right, Manny? For House of
Yes. For House of Gucci. Oh, House of Gucci is definitely going to transpire. I have a list of all the stuff, and House of Gucci is definitely one we're going to be reviewing just because I feel like that's going to be ripe with hot takes. It's going to be very chic. The review. I can't wait, honestly. I was excited from this with the moment I kind of saw the level of camp that transpired. I saw Jared Leto and I got excited just for how campy it was. That's something that I just can't wait to see and to be able to witness that. Because some people say it's not, some people say it is. So I'm curious what that divide is going to be about and where I'm going to land upon that. I love divisive films. And Malcolm, as our resident, apparently hot takes expert. Oh, go ahead, Abe.
Sorry. If Malignant is still number 2 on my list and House of Gucci can get to those levels of campiness, it's going to be number 3 for the year.
Oh,
just want to
good for it. Good for it. Abe loves his camp. Wait, what's your number 1?
Mitchell versus the Machines.
Oh, yes. You mentioned that. So Malcolm, as a resident hot takes expert, tell me a little bit about what does this mean for House of Gucci in your mind? Like, are you still excited to see it? And how's you expecting this to fare with these divisive reviews?
I mean, I'm excited to see any movie really. We have lost Dan briefly, but
yes,
I'm
we
excited
did.
to see, but I am excited to see any other movies. Like the fact this is mixed, like it. I think there's still a chance that it can get nominated, but it's like I don't pay any like as to before. I don't pay any stock to reviews really. If I want to see a movie, I'm going to see the movie. Because I mean, I've heard Venom 2 is bad. I'm still going to see that movie.
It is bad. I don't like it. It's very bad. But I guess let me rephrase the question. With this amount of divisiveness from critics and just overall, I guess they're going to have to really play this up for the Academy. And do you think this hurts its chances at all from a Best Picture nomination, Malcolm?
I mean, I don't. I mean, if things like Crash and Green Book can get nominated, I don't think this has a Gucci's chance of getting nominated.
True. I need to see. Has the Rotten Tomato score dropped for House of Gucci yet? I don't remember. Or is it a social media embargo? Okay.
No, I checked this today because I was curious about it. It's not.
Fascinating. Okay. Well, that's what House of Gucci is. We'll go into that a little bit later about what we expect things to transpire. But another one recently dropped too. Paul Thomas Anderson's Licorice Pizza. I know when we saw that first trailer, I was not as high upon it as other ones were. I like Paul Thomas Anderson as a creator. He's not my favorite. But now that the reviews are starting to drop from LA and New York and various critics groups, I think we've got a contender on our hands. Like, I'm not even good. From what Gold Derby was saying as a possible winning of screenplay, I think Paul Thomas Anderson might have something at his hands more than just an Inherent Vice. This could be more along the lines of, this could play like Phantom Thread, where it gets a good amount of nomination, I guess minus instead of actor, it could be actress. You know what I mean? For you guys, Abe, I think all of us were like, we were not as high when we saw the trailer. We're like, oh, this is probably just a fun little adventure. But with the critical reception that it's going, some people have referred to it as God tier. Abe, what do you see? Until Dan gets back, I'd love to hear your thoughts on Licorice Pizza being this good.
Look, reading the reactions, I think this movie's chances of getting nominated for Best Picture have increased. I don't know if exponential is the correct word, but have increased really good, like a really good level, because we know Paul Thomas Anderson is liked by the Academy. We saw it with his latest film, which was Phantom Thread, which you just mentioned. Also, the fact that you mentioned the screenplay, that's a nice thing. That can come with editing. That usually comes with Best Picture, editing, Best Picture, and everything else. I think the important thing for this film, like to cap legs and be a contender in the awards, it's getting one of the actors nominated. Either Bradley Cooper in supporting, which I don't see the reactions to be that. I don't know what's I saw some Gold Derby from experts, which is a good source. But I think it's important. It's important for them to push an acting nomination, like for it to win. They're not necessarily necessary for it to win, because we saw Parasite, nobody was nominated, and it won Best Picture at the end.
True.
But I think it's important for that, especially when you compare it to a foreign language film, which is kind of different because it's a new thing that have been showing up lately. But but happy for PTA. Like, it's that Punch Drunk Love, that Boogie Nights goes back to a more, I don't know if fun is the correct word, but a more relaxed style maybe what he does. So I'm excited to watch. When does that open? Right. Christmas, right?
No, it opens up I think Thanksgiving Day. So it comes out really soon. Yeah, a lot of these are coming out really quickly. So I'm excited to see what that transpires. Dan, we were just talking about Licorice Pizza. And we had some critical reception saying from Perry Nemiroff is Licorice Pizza is a dream, an opportunity to become completely enveloped in 1970s LA and the comfort and charming of an impossibly sweet love story about growing up and finding love. Elena Hamm and Cooper Hoffman have my heart. Or Alana, I'm not positive. What an utter joy watching them dazzle. And so most people saying personal favorite since Punch Drunk Love from Mike Ryan. Eric Davis again says will be one to watch a lot of times. Most people are saying that this is something to look out for when it comes to not only screenplay, but basically a lot of other categories. And I will fully admit that I was wrong, thinking this could be just kind of like, oh, this little slice, maybe he'll get a screenplay nomination. But this looks to be a serious threat outside of course, what people are saying is that Bradley Cooper is one scene shy of a supporting actor win. From what I was hearing, he's a couple scenes, a few minutes short of that transpiring. So, Dan, hearing all this stuff, what are your thoughts on Licorice Pizza possibly now being back in the conversation after maybe it never left the conversation, but coming back as an even stronger contender?
As movies have been coming out and as we've been getting critical reactions and as people have been seeing them, things have been dropping off. And so that takes a movie that maybe you wouldn't think that would get into the picture as far as the Academy Awards goes. Now, Licorice Pizza being one of those, now that's in the picture because things, let's say we've got kind of a mixed review from The Last Duel, House of Gucci, I mean, yes, The Green Knight's a great film, but is it going to be an awards contender in a lot of categories? Probably not. So things start dropping off. Last Night in Soho is another example. So then, boom, you got to fill those 10 slots with something. So that leaves room for Licorice Pizza, and that's why. I mean, it's a film that it seems like it's gonna check a lot of boxes as far as people in general go, and that's as coming of age films always are kind of crowd pleasers and so forth, and it's PTA, so we'll see.
No, and I think this is something we talked about late. I think last time we talked about Licorice Pizza, it's very much in the vein of Lady Bird, I feel like, in the sense of it's a coming of age, crowd pleasing drama. And I think that's what we're looking at when it comes to this. But for Licorice Pizza, Malcolm, as something that's very kind of a light flair of Hollywood slice of life is what we will call it. There is also talk of Elena Ham. I'm not sure. I need to hear her name actually talk in pronunciation. Ham. I asked. I'll pose the question then, Malcolm, for you. We had mentioned that for Licorice Pizza, Bradley Cooper is someone that we kind of had. A lot of us, I'm pretty sure a lot of us had him in our 5. And at this rate of what we saw in the trailer, he's going to be a number 1. But most people are saying he's not number 1. That he's a few scenes shy of winning that Oscar, of truly standing out from the film. So for anyone, I guess the question I'll ask is that if Bradley Cooper's not taking it, the movie's doing great, but apparently our chances of Bradley Cooper winning, as what I had him for a little bit of time, that's diminished, then who in the world's winning? That's my big thing. Who is there?
Well, I mean, I don't have Bradley in my 5.
Oh, you don't? Okay, never mind then.
Best actor, best supporting actor.
Best supporting actor, yeah.
Yeah, Richard Jenkins, Humans. Keep an eye on him.
I hope, because I haven't heard anything about the Humans since we saw the trailer.
I have.
That's the thing.
And
okay.
They're all saying he's the standout in the film.
Well, I guess I need the buzz. Like we've been talking about these other films. I want to hear, have they done any film festivals since they originally premiered a while ago?
Toronto, yeah.
Besides Toronto?
Yeah, I don't think they've done much of anything since Toronto. So yeah, no, there isn't a lot of. But when it comes out, when people start seeing it, other than Toronto, they'll look at Richard Jenkins and they'll start saying, "Okay, we're Richard Jenkins." Same thing with Mass and. Everybody started talking about, Jason Isaacs and Dowd, but not really Reen Burney and Martha Plimpton, And you saw Mass, I saw him. So, same thing. And then once people started seeing Passing, they said, oh, my God, Ruth Negga and Emma Tessa Thompson are amazing in the film. So it's just got to be, you got to see the movie. Yes. Go ahead, Dave.
To complement the Bradley Cooper thing, I think a lot is gonna lay on Nightmare Alley. Think about it. If he's good in Nightmare Alley, people get buzz from him in that movie, which he's the lead of, from what it appears, right? It's a 1-2 punch. And you say, I cannot give you in Nightmare Alley because there's another actress. There's Benedict Cumberbatch. There's what's his in there? I don't know why I'm blanking on your name.
Adam Driver,
You know,
too.
there's
You know,
Washington.
Oh, there's Will Smith. There's Will Smith, which probably is gonna
Will
win
Smith.
because I think he's the
Yeah.
one lock. Like for everybody's have been on for a while now, and the film is getting great reviews. But if Naomi Ali's good, he's good in the film. So I think that can depend on him. He's gonna be campaigning for both films. So I want to punch, and especially now that you guys mentioned Richard Jenkins. I think we talked about it a while ago. Oh, 6 weeks ago, because I don't think I have been here 6 weeks. He's one of those actors that you respect, and when you're noticing, you can stop noticing him, like in films a lot.
Yeah.
But I mean, Bradley Cooper, this movie, like his sixth Oscar? No, probably fifth Oscar acting nomination.
Acting.
Yeah, Richard Jenkins been nominated twice, so I was gonna say this will be his third if he gets in.
That's a good statistic.
Yeah, and Bradley Cooper is people like him. Well, they didn't nominate him this size one for director, but as an actor,
the director, that's the director's branch.
Yes, yeah. But
they're
like he's
interesting,
liked by the Academy, not liked enough to win the best many awards, but liked enough to be nominated.
He's well liked enough.
Bradley Cooper's due. There's no doubt about it, guys. He's due for something.
Oh yeah, no. Even if he doesn't, and again, they're going to have to really push. I think this because most people are saying. I've heard from other different critics that he just doesn't have enough scenes. I think there's a more likely chance from what I've seen for PTA to win screenplay than for him to win supporting actor. From what people have been saying, which is good for PTA. I'm putting Licorice Pizza back in my picture nominations.
If Anthony Hopkins can win with 8 minutes, if Anthony Hopkins can win with 8 minutes of screen time, I think Bradley Cooper can. Well, I don't know how much screen time.
No, he had more than 8 minutes. That was Judi Dench that had 8 minutes in Fear and Loathing.
Yeah, which is still the weirdest win in my mind.
It's like all British people.
They wanted Judi Dench to get an Oscar. That's the bottom line.
They did. But speaking of best actors, you were mentioning, Abe, about Will Smith winning a lot possible, not a lock. Well, we've used that term loosely. There's another movie that has a strong contender in Best Actor now that has been released and has gotten pretty great reviews. Mixed some, but actually great overall. No, I don't think I saw any pure negative. Well, I saw like a couple negative, but mostly it was mixed to very positive. And that was a movie that was Lin-Manuel Miranda's, who has had a busy year, mind you. Lin-Manuel Miranda's Tick, Tick, Boom has recently just not only dropped, will drop on Netflix this Friday from when you guys are listening to this, but it is also currently playing in select theaters from last week where it opened the AFI Fest, and it got phenomenal reviews. I guess I didn't expect it to be this good, especially for Andrew Garfield, who people have said has never been better. I've never seen Tick, Tick, Boom, the musical. It's based on a musical, I believe. But I'm fascinated to see exactly how this shapes up and plays out. Andrew Garfield could throw on this scene, even though Will Smith's very high up. He's really very consistent with his because what the last nomination he got was Hacksaw Ridge, and that same year he had Silence, which is a great 1-2 punch, and he's just done some phenomenal work. Say what you will about his performance as Jim Baker and the accent that he had, which I thought was good. I thought he was good. I'm excited to see what he is because some people say this is his best performance ever. And I know that, okay, let's be real. For Best Actor, you kind of have Will Smith, you have Cumberbatch, and you have Denzel Washington most likely to be three. Dinklage is a possibility depending on how Cyrano, I think, does, because people were kind of middling on that. I wouldn't consider him a lock. I think these three are like, yes, we've seen these. Dinklage maybe is a fourth. But I think Garfield is a safe with this. Abe, what do you think? Is this something that people need to look out for Garfield?
I have not been impressed by Lin-Manuel Miranda work in film at all since Moana. You know, the way he's here, In the Heights, to anything. But hearing the film, Vivo was not impressive. I'm sorry. I'm looking forward to Encanto. Just saying about him and his. But I'm happy this looks good because I remember seeing the trailer. Really liking the trailer. I think Andrew Garfield, he's a great actor. I don't know why he's not in more stuff, or maybe I don't watch most of his stuff. But he's an excellent actor, and I was happy. You broke my heart today. I don't know if it was recorded when you told me the movie was not out on Netflix today. I thought it was right now. I haven't checked Netflix.
Sadly, no.
It's next week. Yeah, so I'm gonna watch it next Friday. That's the first thing I want to do when I get home.
Isn't it the 19th?
19th Friday.
Yeah,
So it's this Friday.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it's coming Friday.
Yeah.
yeah. I
so
got
looking
confused. I
forward
saw
to
people reacting to it. It's like, oh shit, did I miss it? Just the
No, not yet.
That
It's
Netflix
playing in
movies
one
comes out
theater.
in cinemas.
It's playing in one theater in within. It's like a 2.5 hour drive from here. I'm like, nah, I'll wait. Plus, I think I got a screener for tomorrow night, so I'm
yeah.
crossing my fingers if I get that screener.
Come on, Netflix, give Dan that screener.
So I think he can flex into the category consider. Well, I don't know. We're gonna talk about being the Ricardos. Being the Ricardos. Javier Bardem can come in based on the reactions, stuff like that. But it's gonna be an interesting conversation now that we have gotten more reactions from the films.
Yes, and I was gonna ask Dan for this film. It got really great reception, which I was kind of shocked by. Another film we'll be shocked by in a second for the great reception. But as Lin-Manuel Miranda, again, it's either been mixed or positive. With the great centering performance they had in Andrew Garfield, why did they wait so long, you think, to push this for Netflix? Because I feel like they could have gone Power of the Dog and Tick, Tick, Boom as a musical option, because the reviews have been incredibly strong for this one.
Well, remember last year they had Trial of Chicago 7 early September, but every month, really every week from that point on, they had like a new movie. And It was just like they weren't pushing every one of the movies, but then they started pushing Mank, and then they started pushing the one with Viola Davis and Chadwick Boseman. So they weren't going to push every movie, and they didn't. They know what they have, but then they like Harder They Fall came out. Then this week it's Tick, Tick, Boom. The following week it's Power of the Dog. And so they keep cranking out all these movies, and you don't know which ones are going to be the ones that are going to be the ones they're going to have to put all their marbles. What half they're going to have to put all their marbles in, and maybe they didn't realize until last minute that this is going to be good, or Andrew Garfield was going to give this kind of a performance. And I'm glad because he's had a couple good movies this year, where one, it's mixed, where the YouTube movie where he was like some guy on YouTube,
mainstream. Yeah,
he's kind of the forgotten one in Tammy Faye movie, because Jessica Chastain's definitely going to get in there. And Searchlight, I've already got my For Your Consideration screener of it, and they're pushing a lot of people in that movie, but they're not really pushing Garfield. So this is his shot this year. If he's going to get in, he's got to get in as this role, and it's Best Actor. And yeah, the Best Actor race isn't like it's completely slam packed, but those are the five. That's a 5 solid right there. That 5 we just talked about. Dinklage, Denzel, Garfield, Cumberbatch, and Will Smith. That's your solid 5 right there. I mean, if those 5 are the 5, I'm good. You know what I mean? I'm good with those 5.
That's a good 5.
That's a hell of a 5, if you ask me.
And speaking of 5, well, kind of, this is a weird tangent, but being the Ricardos, we have another actor contender. We have another actress contender. We have another movie contender, guys, because Being the Ricardos is good.
Amazon's horse in the race, boys.
Let me say, I misjudged Being the Ricardos because I thought they rushed it. I thought they were just trying to get this out there and it was going to bomb and just be like, wow, this is messy. But apparently it's heartfelt. It's has some great performances. It's very witty and snappy. I really guess that Aaron Sorkin, even when he's not at his A game, can do a really great screenplay, no matter what, in his sleep. Possibly that looks like to be the case because these are fantastic reviews. Dan, when you saw these reviews for Being the Ricardos, what were your initial thoughts? Because do we have a contender?
Because that first trailer, the word around town, and I mean Hollywood, not a town where we live, but
not our towns,
was, why are they not putting Nicole Kidman in the trailer? And it was a teaser trailer, no doubt about it. It was a teaser. And then the new trailer came, and you're like, okay. And then my buddy Scott Vance is talking about it. And then people are talking about it, and they're saying, She's amazing. Nicole Kidman's amazing.
Yeah.
Javier Bardem's supporting. He's not lead. He's supporting.
okay.
J.K. Simmons is supporting as well. And they're saying J.K. Simmons as like the producer of the show or something like this in behind the scenes could. Are we talking J.K. Simmons and best supporting? Oh my God. What is it with the twos? The twos. I mean, we're not like 5-year-olds. We don't have the terrible twos, you know what I mean? Little toddlers here. But there seems to be this trend of twos, people getting their second Academy Award. And Nicole Kidman's got one. So, but that race, that Best Actress race, absolutely slammed. I mean, there's not 5. There's at least 7 or 8 people that could get in those 5 slots. And so I'm glad because I've been looking forward to this for years. Ever since I heard this was being made, the Lucille Ball movie about the show and so forth. I was like, when the hell is this thing coming out? And then I had my hopes up for Cate Blanchett. I'm like, oh, I want to see Cate Blanchett. And then they transitioned over to Nicole Kidman. I was like, oh, now I'm worried. After seeing that second trailer, first full trailer, I'm like, I'm good. And then Scott Mantz, a buddy of mine, and some people have been talking about it. I'm like, all right, Amazon's got a horse in the race.
They do. I think that at the end of the day, and I'm saying this right now, which I'm going to actually, I'll save what I'm about to say until we bring our Best Actress discussion right after this. I'm going to have something I'm going to say for when we talk about Best Actress, which probably by now, me holding it out, you're going to notice and very, very quickly. But being the Ricardos, after 1 year ago, which after writing and directing, Aaron Sorkin directed for the Trial of the Chicago 7, he comes out with Being the Ricardos now. Abe, Being the Ricardos is now Amazon's pony now. What do we expect now? Is this something that we need to keep an eye out for?
Okay, can I ask a question before giving my answer to your question?
Yes.
Honest question, because I have no idea of history of the 50s of an American TV. Who are the Ricardos?
Dan, would you like to answer?
Yeah, okay. The Ricardos they were actually Desi Arnaz and Lucille Ball. They were cast as these characters on this TV show. And the name of the show was Lucille Ball. But
I love Lucy.
I love Lucy.
Okay, I've heard of that. I love
Lucy.
Okay.
And then they fell in love on the show and got married in real life.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Sorry for my ignorance.
It's one of the most celebrated sitcoms of all time.
Yeah, I watched episodes of the show in my history class in 11th grade.
Oh, okay. There you go.
I don't know.
And of course, the famous line, Lucy, I'm home.
So classic.
Okay. So to answer your question, man, they have a horse in the race. Now the most important question, can they campaign for it? Because I don't know why people were doubting Nicole Kidman because she's a great actress. That's something I question in the reactions. Like, I don't know what. Tell me her last bad performance. She's transformative. She's one of those actors that can take her. Like, she can become whoever she wants. Honestly, she's that good.
I mean, how about a throwaway role in Lion and boom, gets nominated for an Oscar?
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, she did. Holy cow, I forgot about that.
She was great in Lion,
a nothing role. Same thing. What was the one with Russell Crowe was her husband, and what's his name was her son? And he was gay or whatever. He was
Oh, Boy Erased. That was a good movie.
I mean, and she's great in that. It's like I have to start not like poo-pooing on Nicole Kidman because, like I said, I wanted Cate Blanchett in the role, but obviously Sorkin had other ideas, and guess what we got out of it? A potential
I have not been impressed by Aaron Sorkin's job. Like Molly's Game and Trial of the Chicago 7, I was not impressed. There's weird things that I was like, these need, a sharper direction. Like, writing is good, but a better director could have done a better job with I think Sorkin is showing growth based on the reactions as a director.
Yes.
And his screenplays, I think he is no doubt he has a way of telling stories with his words, which is pretty damn entertaining for times, but not necessarily for directing. Nicole Kidman and Javier Bardem in the race, really interesting. I don't like some comments Sorkin did about Bardem being cast on the show. I think that hurts. Like if people came back with that may hurt his chances in anything being awarded to him, while it's nomination. I don't know. Depends how offended people get, which I think they're right to be offended by that because that's a pretty nasty comment, if I have to say. I didn't like the comment at all when I read it. But I think, I'm surprised for that because the movie, I only saw the teaser trailer. I have tried to stay away of a lot of trailers just because I want to enjoy the films themselves. But I saw the teaser trailer and I seen, oh, this is interesting. Like Amazon is telling this new story. I never thought that they were gonna get this reaction and being, but I guess that's why they put it in the holidays. Middle. I think it's released second week of December, something about that.
Around that.
So they know what they're doing. They're campaigning.
Award shows love movies and TV shows about Hollywood.
Yes.
And the golden age of Hollywood is something that they love. And this is the golden age of Hollywood. I Love Lucy.
Like, look back at Trumbo coming out of nowhere. It's like, hey, remember that? Like, let's give. He got an actor nomination, Bryan Cranston. I mean, they love Bryan Cranston too, but still, like that's telling. And I think if your movie is good and it's about old Hollywood, that's a great combination to be in. And you're right. I think two things. I do think that the tone deaf comments that Aaron Sorkin made about race, especially in regards to Cubans and comparing it with Javier Bardem. He's a Spaniard, right? Okay.
Yes.
That's what I wanted to make sure. Yes. And as someone who doesn't know about that, I leave that to you, Abe, telling me, and I think hearing you say that makes me understand more. It was a very tone deaf comment to make, and I understand that why the outlash. No, that's not right. Backlash. Why the backlash? Thank you. Outlash is not right. I understand where that comes from, and I'm wondering if that's going to hurt it, or people are going to forget about it. No, backlash, eyelash. I don't know. I'm curious if that's going to do anything at the very end of the day, because you're right. Sorkin is learning, and his style as a visual filmmaker is still growing. He is a better writer than he is a director, but he's also written so many years in comparison to him directing. So I'm curious at how this is going to turn out. But for Malcolm, for you, hearing about Being the Ricardos, as someone, have you ever watched I Love Lucy? Do you have any knowledge whatsoever? And does this excite you hearing a movie is good, I'm sure is always exciting. But are you excited for Being the Ricardos and hearing this reaction that we're getting from Nicole Kidman and Javier Bardem and J.K. Simmons and the lot?
Yeah, I mean, I'm familiar with I Love Lucy. I've seen various clips. The trailer looks good. I'm kind of nervous about Nicole Kidman's performance because it doesn't sound like Lucy. And that's the thing, because Lucy has a more high-pitched voice than, and I don't think her or Kate Blanchett, for that matter, would have been worked. So I'm kind of more curious about it than excited for it.
Well, I will say two things to that. One, in that same interview with his tone deaf comments, Sorkin also said that he didn't want an impersonation, that you don't have to look like her, you don't have to sound like her, I want you to embody her, or something along those lines that he said. But also reviews are saying is that Nicole Kidman does a different voice from what Lucille Ball and the I Love Lucy, Lucy Ricardo or Lucille Ricardo or Lucille Ball. I forgot who's the character and who's the actress, but they were separate.
Lucille Ball was the actress.
Okay. Lucy, she has a different voice from what she gave her. She gave her that high-pitched voice, and people said it's really good from what I've read. So she has a separate voice, which I didn't know she had two separate voices. I didn't know that was a full-on character, and maybe they'll explore that in. So that's just, you're right. She did, when the scenes we saw her, that is not the Lucy character. I think that's Lucille Ball.
Yeah. I mean, from what I understand, because I think that Aaron Sorkin said in that same interview that that there's not going to be much about the actual making of the show I Love Lucy, which is what I thought the movie was going to be. So it's going in with that expectation is going to be one of those ones that could hurt it for me enjoying it. But, I mean, if people are enjoying it, it gets nominated, then good. But, I mean, yeah. But honestly, I like, as we've seen a lot of time when it comes to Oscar races, tone deaf comments or even anything can hurt anyone's chances. I mean, I stand but that James Franco should have been the best actor race of a disaster artist. So.
Awful. That's awful.
Yes,
I mean, you're
that
right,
was
Malcolm.
that was an entire fiasco. I remember that being the case. And you're right. No, I think these tone deaf comments are going to, just kind of show the idea of like, hey, people need to be aware of what you're saying, or I want you to educate yourself on this. It depends on if he doubles down and continues this, but I don't know if that's going to be the case, because we'll see. We will see. But at this point, I'm putting this movie in a lot of different categories. And one of those categories that I'm putting them in, which we're going to bring in our Best Actress discussion now that we've talked about the films that have been released. Guys, I have put Nicole Kidman in my Best Actress predictions. I have Nicole Kidman in my Best Actress at the moment, and she has supplanted. I have Lady Gaga possibly missing at this point. Bold take, but at this moment, we're going to talk about Best Actress, and that is my hot take now. Lady Gaga, with the divisiveness, I probably might have her missing, and Nicole Kidman being able to make it in with the strong reviews we've gotten from Being the Ricardos and the high praise that she has gotten. Do we think that, especially with the reaction that we've seen recently, do we think this hurts Gaga? Do we think this elevates Nicole Kidman? What do you guys have in this discussion of Best Actress that we're having?
Well,
Dan.
I want Malcolm, because I know he didn't have much time. So Malcolm, you go first, because you don't have much time.
Oh shit! I didn't even know what the time was. But yeah, I've been switching this around, and I probably will make another switch later. But
of course,
at the moment for Best Actress, I've got Kristen Stewart for Spencer, Jessica Chastain. I've still got Jennifer Hudson for Respect up there. I've got Nicole Kidman, and I've got Frances McDormand. But I'm thinking I might switch out Frances for Lady Gaga.
Because Frances is they are campaigning her. They are campaigning her in Best Actress. They have confirmed that, so that's going to be really interesting. But Malcolm, so to add upon those lines, do you think that Lady Gaga's chances have been hurt with this House Gucci, or have you had her out recently?
Oh, as I said, I'm thinking of. I mean, I did take her out, but I'm thinking of maybe switching her back in, taking out maybe either Frances or maybe Jennifer. Probably leaning towards maybe Jennifer at this point, because Respect was out a long time ago. It's going to depend if they still remember it. By now, but yeah. Which
I'll ask the question then. And you, whenever you have to go, Malcolm, I understand you have to get going, so just let me know. Just say goodbye and let us know. But Dan, for you, you're someone who has championed Jennifer Hudson of, hey, look out for her. I think they need to remind us that movie came out. They need to do some, hey, like they need to bring in some, either they need to put it back in theaters. They need to send some screeners out sooner rather than later, something, because I feel like I haven't heard anything about that since it dropped and people were praising her performance.
I forget what production company put that movie out as of now, but I already got, like I said, I got for your consideration screeners for Summer of Soul and for The Eyes of Tammy Faye from Searchlight. They want those pictures in the eyes of voting people, or people that are voting in their guild or whatever. So they want them. So if whoever put Respect out wants her to be in the conversation, they will send out screeners for Respect to get that back in the public eye. I got MGM was the producer, production company. Okay. Yeah, see, I had Lady Gaga in supporting, so I probably have her in the wrong category, I guess. I didn't realize she was a lead actress. So I'll probably have to switch that up a little bit. But I have 7 right now, but you put Lady Gaga, so that's 8. So it's 8 in a category that can only hold 5. So I got Kristen Stewart, Jessica Chastain, Jennifer Hudson, Penelope Cruz for Parallel Mothers, Kristen Dunst for Power of the Dog. I don't know if she's supporting. I might be able to switch her and Gaga or something.
You can, because they officially also switched her in the end, I think, some of the FYC stuff. So she is in supporting actress.
So I'll have to switch her. And then, so Nicole Kidman for Being Ricardos and Frances McDormand. So I got basically 7 now that I can switch those to. So I got 7 into 5 slots. So it's kind of until I see Parallel Mothers, Being the Ricardos, Power of the obviously I'm seeing House of Gucci this week, and Tragedy of Macbeth. I can't really determine who those 4 and 5 are, but I'm solid on Stewart, Chastain, and Hudson. I am.
So you think Hudson will, even if they haven't keep campaigning, I'm assuming you're of the mind that they're going to campaign her once, things start to clear a little bit more. So you're confident in that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see any reason why they wouldn't campaign her, because MGM, they got James Bond. Technical categories probably for James Bond, No Time to Die.
Right.
There's something else from MGM. Oh God, I can't think. There's something else from MGM. Actually, it's had a halfway decent rollout of movies this year, which is kind of interesting. They got an animated Horse in the Race with the Addams Family. I can't remember what else MGM has got, but they got some stuff. So they're gonna want to campaign Hudson in Best Actress, because that's all the horse. And they might even do Best Song. I think there's an original song from that movie. Maybe, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember.
Oh, MGM is House of Gucci.
Oh, okay.
They co-produce it with Scott Free Productions.
Ah, okay.
So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, maybe that's going to be interesting for J Hud and Lady Gaga. I don't know if they're going to want to push 2 people for Best Actress. That's the thing. So that's
a great idea. Yeah.
And maybe their horse overall is House of Gucci. But if it's not doing good, maybe they can swap out and run with Jennifer Hudson. I don't know. Who knows? I'm not in these boardrooms and these offices.
You're not, Dan?
No.
Oh.
But hey, if people give me for your consideration screeners, I'll watch them again. Like I'm going to watch Lady Tammy Faye again. I'll probably watch Summer of Soul again. And so those films are back on my consciousness when I end up doing my voting for the guild that I'm in. So I just got into a guild, a writers guild. So I'm really happy. I'm really I made the announcement yesterday, but so I'm finally into a writers guild. So I'll be able to vote for.
That's awesome.
What is the best of the year? And we can only vote on what we have a window for, a film critic window. Like some films, like Focus, didn't give us anything. We didn't get anything except for Belfast. Belfast is the only one that Focus gave us. They put out like 6 films in the last 5 months, and we didn't get none of them. I had to go to the theater to see all of them.
Jeez.
So those aren't going to be considered films that I could consider for anything except for Belfast, because we got a screening of it, and I reviewed it.
Interesting. So like, wait, first off, congratulations, Dan. What is the name of the group?
It's called the Florida Association of Film Association of Central Florida.
Oh, nice.
Film
That's awesome.
Association of Central Florida. CACF. And you can find us on Twitter as CACF Critics.
That's awesome, dude. Congratulations on that. I did not know that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say along the lines, and Abe, I'll ask you, for Best Actress, we've basically seen like everything, like the possibility that, like, again, like a Rachel Ziegler or Zegler from West Side Story making a surprise breakout performance, or I guess Rooney Mara is the lead actress officially in Nightmare Alley. But again, I don't expect that to do anything, but I could be wrong. What is your thoughts right now on the Best Actress race that you have?
Look, many, Frank.
Yes.
I'm gonna tell you something.
Abe.
I have these each for the last couple of weeks with myself and West Side Story. I don't know why. I don't know why that can come out of nowhere and just get nominations. Maybe because it's Steven Spielberg. Maybe it's because the trailers, like every time I watch them, because they play in front of me every time in the theater, I just guess,
Yes.
this looks good. This has the potential. So I was thinking Rachel Ziegler. Maybe. Not looking at anything. I think Kristen Stewart. I think that she's gonna be there. I still
Yes.
think Lady Gaga. Like based on the reactions, like there's nobody says anything bad about Lady Gaga. You know what can diminish that? The box office returns. I think that is gonna help because movies can draw on that in the Heights too. Like I mean I think you guys will agree. If In the Heights was a box office hit, I will getting nominations and in the conversation, but it was not. So I think that depends on that. But Lady Gaga, she's well liked. Like she got an Oscar 2 years
I
ago.
will also add too, though, just quickly, is that I think if The Last Duel did a lot better, we'd be talking about Jodie Comer in this conversation, who is phenomenal,
Exactly.
and I'm sad that she's going to be forgotten.
Which I forgot, and she's the best actress right now for the year. Kristen Stewart. I think Penelope. I don't know why they have Penelope Cruz so high in Gold Derby. I'm basing on the Express. I have not watched Proud Mothers, but I think that's and especially because Proud Mothers in the shows for Spain for best foreign language film.
Yeah, good boss.
That's what I'm questioning. That I don't know why, but I think just because Chastain gets in. I mean, Searchlight. They really know how to campaign for films. They got in a lot of films.
And there's a potential, Abe, too. 5 real life people, portrayals of 5 real life people could be the 5. I mean, you get Gucci, the woman from the wife of Gucci. You got Tammy Faye. You got Aretha Franklin. You got Lucille Ball, and you got Diana Spencer. 5 real people could end up being. I mean, and they love dominating people that play real life people. That is something that you go back through the history of the Academy Awards. There's a lot of that. And people winning for that too.
Look,
I'm trying to
want to play
the last time we've had that where it's been 5.
Oh, sorry. I don't want to play the card of diversity, and I haven't watched Respect. So all the respect to the people, whatever conversation.
All the respect.
Like, it's gonna be just only white woman. So 5 white women. So they usually
Penelope Cruz ain't white.
If she can make it as well.
Yeah, it would be white. I guess you're right. I guess you're right.
She's white.
You're right, Abe.
This is a hot take, Abe.
No, it's not a hot take.
Jennifer Hudson, not right.
Yeah.
But
I mean, he's saying if it's
you get that impression. Like I don't agree with it. I think you should nominate the best performance you can, but it's a trend that has been happening. Usually there's Nick. Who's Nick at the end last year? The girl from I'm forgetting that Hulu movie that I didn't watch.
Yeah. Oh God.
Billie Holiday. The United States Billie Holiday.
Oh, Andra Day.
Holiday. Yeah.
Andra Day got in,
she was great.
and we weren't expecting that, and she got in. I don't know, saying it was because of that. Well, you can see.
Oh no.
Like who were nominated with her.
She was great, Abe. I mean, she.
Oh no, she was great in the movie.
I was like,
though.
She's in. I mean.
Yeah, but.
I was just shocked.
They usually try to get a diverse category. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. No, you're absolutely right. They're going to try to get diverse. First of all, remember, why did we go through this whole process of adding all these people to the Academy to create a more diverse voting body? So Hudson, Cruz, they got shots, and that could leave one of the other people out.
Again, you could also have Ziegler come out of nowhere as well too, as a breakout star. Now, again, Natalie Wood didn't get nominated. Wasn't nominated for this year or was nominated in the 60s for West Side Story. But I feel like they're really focusing and honing in on her, and she could be an absolute breakout. Because if y'all follow her Twitter, she is an active presence on Twitter, Rachel Ziegler, and she is someone that could campaign well if she. I don't have her in my 5 right now, but there is a possibility that could happen if West Side Story is critically acclaimed. That's a possibility only. But yeah, I
don't know. Question, because you guys may have looked. Has Steven Spielberg gotten a nomination from an unknown?
I don't know. I don't think he's ever when is the last time he worked with an unknown actor?
Because I'm thinking Mark Rylance, but he's a respected theater actor. He's not a film actor. And he got an Oscar win. which I don't agree. I think Mark Ruffalo should have won that year, but he did a great job. You cannot deny how great Mark Rylance is in his role. For a small role as he is,
Yes.
he's able to. Spielberg is able to get those performances, and if the movie's good, do you know when are you gonna watch West Side Story?
Yeah, not anytime soon. Definitely December sometime. I'm not. It's not on my
Because it
radar.
opens the 9th. It opens the
Huh?
9th, right? It opens
Yeah,
the
so
9th.
it's probably. I'll probably get
Week
something the
long?
week of Thanksgiving if they give us
Yeah.
something early in the week. Maybe
If they
not
like,
the following week.
You know what's the problem? Well, also, I think we're getting into West Side Story conversation. But I haven't been here
yes.
for 6 weeks, so I have thoughts in my mind that I want to take out, and I don't necessarily have people to talk
Well,
about it.
again, when we see it, we have a list of stuff we're gonna watch
Oh,
every
yeah.
week for reviews. You're
Well,
on
you
that
s-
list, I can tell you.
So the problem with West Side Story, and the possible problem is that Disney have been I don't know, blocking the Fox pictures. Like marketing hasn't been that pushy. You saw it with The Last Duel. They did it with another film that I can't remember. Kingsman is not getting
Ron's Gone Wrong.
film. Yeah, it's not getting that
Yeah.
marketing. So I don't know if the West Side Story marketing may help that nomination. Unless they know they have a big thing like that
Yeah.
can push. I don't know
That's
how
it.
much that can help the film.
It's Spielberg, and it's a big thing. If it's a big thing and it's Spielberg, they're not going to bury that.
No.
Because think about it, Disney doesn't have any actually main kind of top 10 picture category type of movies. They have a lot of the animated below the line categories like costumes and CGI and visual effects and set production and cinema, stuff like that. They don't have anything in the main categories. So that's their horse, and it boxes their company, so they got to push West Side Story for that in that regard, and probably Spielberg and director, but we'll see.
So what I'm going to throw you all, and this is something that I want to hear your thoughts upon. We have this, like this actress race starting to shape up now that we've seen a lot of stuff. It's definitely best actress to me, and I was just as stacked right now as best actor. We have some bevy of riches when it comes to both of those this year. This one in particular is even more so because there is some some critical acclaim for this film for Licorice Pizza. And there's a possibility with the amount of praise that I don't have her in my 5 right now, is just to state everything. But there is a high possibility that Elena Haim, if the movie is loved, could get a nomination. If the movie is beloved, I could possibly see that being the case, because I've heard some critics who saw it saying she is a contender to get in for a nomination if this movie can translate and if they do this correctly. And that could be your breakout right there. There's no way they're going to do Rachel Ziegler and Elena Haim. Again, I don't know. I will learn, I promise. There's no way they're both getting in at the same time. So that is a possibility, whichever they love more. If West Side Story just flops, which it could, we'll see. Am I off base here, Malcolm or Dan?
I've actually got to head out. But last thing I'll say is I think there could be a surprising chance that we could get 2 breakout stars, which means one of the ones that we think are definite getting in is going to miss out. So, but honestly, I'm all for seeing breakout stars getting more love. And it's just one of those ones I think there could be there could be a lot of surprising things happen. Just like
breakout stars tend to get into the supporting categories, but it's happened in the lead category.
It has happened in the past. I'm trying to think the last time we've had a supporting, a lead breakout and get a nomination. I'm
not saying we won't get a lead breakout. I'm saying if to get more than one could be in it. So I know there's always been at least one break, because talking about breakout stars, Andra Day, that was her first major role.
True.
Last year, so I think there could be. So I'm thinking there could be at least one surprising one like Andra Day the year. So I think either Licorice Pizza or Rachel Zegler is probably the one that's probably going to do that. But to get 2 is going to be interesting.
And you make a good point, Malcolm. You make a good point, Malcolm, because they always also like that's the stories at the Academy Awards of like underdogs and people we've never heard of, and that sort of stuff. That happens every year. Last year it was the guy from the deaf. He was the deaf guy from.
He
metal,
was. Oh,
the metal.
No, we love him. What's his name?
This year, I would think that the people that might come out of nowhere that could be unknowns could be like from like Coda. That's why I said supporting, because I think there's more of a chance of unknowns getting into the supporting races than the best actress or actor race right now. I mean, I'll be honest with you.
Fair, yeah.
Those races are so stacked with people that we know, and they're playing like real life people. So I just have a feeling that we're not going to get any of that in those. But Malcolm, you could be right. We could get 1 or 2 in there. I doubt it, but there's a possibility. And it also depends about how the other award shows go, like the SAGs and Critics' Choice. If Critics' Choice usually nominate everybody, so you're going to see who's in the race come SAG time and who's in the race come Academy Awards time, because Critics' Choice nominates everybody. So you'll get 7, 8 people nominated.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, as the Billy Joel song goes, you could be right, I could just be crazy.
Nice.
But on that note, I'm actually going to depart.
All right. Bye, Malcolm. All right. So we lost Abe temporarily. So I will. He got Malcolm gave a great point, which was there is a possibility that it can happen we can get a breakout actor. It's not out of the ordinary. Let me tell you the breakout actors that we've gotten before who could be the Rachel Zegler.
But also, look, we got Katriana Balfe. I mean, I'm telling you, a lot of the breakout people are in the potential for like the guy Troy Kotzer in Coda, Katriana Balfe in Belfast, Jude Hill Belfast. I mean, it's gonna be supporting categories. I just don't see it happening in lead.
No, it is. We've had child actors in the past who usually get the nomination, which is Tatum O'Neal, Anna Paquin, Keisha Castle Hughes, Quvenzhané Wallace. So we've had child actors in the past get the nomination. Quvenzhané Wallace was lead actress.
Would you put Jude Hill as lead though?
Yes.
Is Jude Hill lead or Jude Hill supporting?
From what the official FYC is, that he's the only supporting. Everyone else, he's the only lead. Everyone else is supporting from what their FYC is showing.
Now, that's the unknown. If that movie does as good as it's doing, and it's a great movie, there's no doubt about it. If it gets the push from Focus and Universal, if anybody's going to get in the lead, it's going to be him. I don't think anybody's gonna. I don't see somebody slipping in the lead actress. It's an unknown. Or I think that kid Jude Hill, he's got the best shot at it. And the best actor is a little bit less packed than best actress. Yeah, it's packed, but it's not as packed as best actress.
Yes, there's still like some wiggle room for best actor because there's really only like 3 solidified, like, boom, this is who it is. I still think it's a possibility because also it's Paul Raci. So everyone knows Paul Raci is the actor who we're thinking of.
That's it.
Sorry, Paul Raci. We love you. We love what you did.
Joaquin Phoenix is still in the mix.
Joaquin Phoenix. You also have, if they really wanted to, because SAG and critics could really kind of boost the momentum. I don't know if critics are going to see West Side Story before. Like, is that even going to happen? Are they going to see it before it releases?
Oh yeah, they'll see it. Oh yeah, they're going to see it because they're not going to vote on it if otherwise. So they got to see it. They're going to have to see it beforehand. Very few, what was the one with Jeff Bridges won? That was like last second deal, and nobody saw that because it came out like the last second. Nobody even heard of the movie. And it came out, and it's like one of these movies that kind of slid under the radar. And all of a sudden, last minute, bam! What was it?
Crazy Heart.
Crazy Heart. Yeah, it was one of those.
Was that last minute? Oh wow!
A lot of the local things, like film critic groups like I'm in, didn't see it because it was but you could January and February roll around with the other awards, so they were able to slip him in because by then people had seen it. You know what I'm saying?
This is true.
Same thing with last year. You know, we're last year we're talking about Anthony Hopkins. Everybody, remember, me and you had a conversation about this in November, but nobody had seen the movie unless you were at Sundance. If you were at Sundance, you saw that until March when it came out, or the last week in February, and people, like, even to this day, Abe still had it on his top 10 list or whatever, right?
This year. Yes. I'll answer for him. Yes. What I was going to add, though, is that you're right. I do think it's going to be harder for a breakout. They're going to have two things are going to have to happen. One, they're going to have to love the movie. It's going to have to be a love. Rachel Zegler is not going to get it unless they love West Side Story. And I'm going to have to see some other stuff transpire. Elena Haim, she's going to have to they're going to have to love Licorice Pizza. What's great critics. She's a great critical response, and she's a highlight. And she's going to have to get critics. I think she's going to have to get SAG. She's going to have to, she may miss BAFTA. I think that's okay with BAFTA's new rules. I think it's okay if someone misses BAFTA. Maybe for a win, it's going to hurt you, but if for a nomination, I think you're good. But she's going to have to get some other stuff if she's going to want to get, I think, an Oscar, because it's all about building that momentum. And I think it's a possibility, but you're right. She's not going to have to get it. She's not going to be able to get it just like that. It's something that's going to have to happen, build. She's going to have to, maybe she'll win a critics a prize. She'll win something here and there. And then maybe she'll surprise us in a SAG, because SAG always has one or something that's always like out of nowhere or surprising. Like, for instance, I think maybe SAG will do like a Clifton Collins Jr. and Jockey. I feel like that's something they would do.
Where the hell is it, though? Where Jockey was supposed to be out in October. Where the hell is Jockey? It was in Middleburg Film Festival. It's the last thing I ever heard of it. Which is, I talked to the director back, like, after I saw it at Sundance, and I was like, hey, you want to do an interview? And he was like, yeah, I would do an interview with you, but now that Sony Pictures Classics picked it up, they ain't doing any interviews until it comes out. And he said that's not till October. October's come and gone. I haven't even seen Jockey. Did they push Jockey to next year?
No, it's still being campaigned this year.
Okay. Well, I mean, Clifton Collins Jr. is great, but he's not going to be better than some of these other guys. I don't know.
No, but I feel like that's something SAG would do, because I'll never forget as when they got, like, remember when we got out of nowhere Jennifer Aniston and Cake. She came out of nowhere. And then we also, or another year where we got Sarah Silverman, a bit actor in that one, like, I Smile Back or something, where you don't really hear all these small indie features, and then suddenly they'll get a nomination out of nowhere. We don't expect that. I think they could do that. Whether he gets a nomination, that's up in the air. But when it comes to Best Actress, she could, Elena Haim, I don't know. I'm just butchering her name so much. I apologize profusely. I really apologize. She will need to build upon that, and I can see that transpiring. At this point, I think she's stronger than Rachel Zegler, mainly because Licorice Pizza seems to be already beloved more than West Side Story, but we haven't seen West Side Story yet, so I don't know. I could be wrong. Blowing smoke out of my ears.
No, that's Fox, so that's their horse in the race. That's Fox, unless Searchlight is still. See, Searchlight is Disney. Fox is Disney. Disney is Disney.
Oh, you mean 20th Century Studios, don't you, Dave?
Yes. So they got weird. A lot of they have like these subcategories that they could be pushing some of these films in.
Yep.
And it just all depends what they want to put their money behind. Disney. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Abe, for you, if you're back, Abe, I was going to ask. Okay, you are. There you are. Don't fall asleep on us, Abe. We're not done yet. We're wrapping up. We're not done yet. So for your 5 that you have, again, I think you're looking at I think we have like a solid 8 right now that we're looking at, because Best Actress is still getting really stacked. And I think it's the most stacked category that we have this year when it comes to the acting races. You got, as I said, Lady Gaga, you got Nicole Kidman, you got Elena Haim, you got, I was about to say Diana Spencer. You got Kristen Stewart, you have Jessica Chastain, you have Jennifer Hudson, you have Penelope Cruz, you have, I'm already forgetting Nicole Kidman, and I know there's other ones too that I'm probably forgetting right now, but I'll look at Gold Derby in a second. But right now it's getting really stacked. And so for you personally, Abe, seeing and hearing all this, do you think that we're going to get any surprises, or is this a year where we're going to have Best Actress being kind of like the predictable 5 that we always had, which is going to be like, Stewart, Chastain, Hudson, Kidman, and Gaga, maybe. Oh, and Frances McDormand. That's the one I forgot. Frances McDormand.
Last year race, show me something. Never bet against Frances McDormand.
Yeah, good point.
That's so true.
You make a good point there.
No, like last year, I think we weren't sure who was the front runner because we all thought I totally forgetting her name, and she was great in Menacing Young Woman.
Carey Mulligan.
Oh, Carey Mulligan. Sorry, Carey Mulligan. I love you.
I thought she had it in the bag. I'll be honest. I mean,
we all thought that for a while until we came down to that night, and Frances McDormand stepped out and got her third Oscar win for Best Actress.
Again, I will say I think her not getting nominated for BAFTA, and then the SAG thing kind of cemented like this is all over the place. This race.
We also thought about what's her name?
Viola Davis.
I don't know. I haven't watched Spencer. Like it hasn't come near me. I'm waiting for it to come near me because I want to watch it in the theater. I don't want to wait till. I probably will never come. These theaters never get. I never get anything.
Wait, before we say anything, someone else that we have not mentioned that we cannot count out. That's Olivia Colman in The Lost Daughter.
Yep.
I completely forgot about her, and she is on my list because I don't have Frances McDormand. I have Stewart, Chastain. I have Hudson right now. You've convinced me otherwise. Coleman and then Kidman. Coleman and then Kidman. Haha. I didn't realize that. Sorry. Go ahead, Abe.
Jennifer Lawrence. Okay. Spencer.
Yes.
Spencer is giving me those vibes. I mean, it's the same director. It's a similar story, I guess. It's giving me the Jackie vibes. We were all crowning Natalie Portman for Jackie, and I don't remember who won that year. Was it Frances McDormand? No, it wasn't.
No, that was Emma Stone for La La Land.
Oh, okay. We were crowning like in the early reactions because it was a Toronto film. Jackie was a Toronto film, right? If I'm not mistaken, or a TIFF. It was an October one.
One of those.
Got bought. Then they released it in December. And Pablo Larraín, because we're going to mention his name correctly. Larraín.
Lorraine.
Okay, so just to finish my thoughts. So he does that. So I'm not ready to crown Kristen Stewart. I have not watched the film. I know many you guys love it. I know Manning loves it so much. It's his favorite film of the year. You liked it? Yeah? Do you like Spencer?
Yeah, I mean, I thought the movie was great. It was just one kind of like subplot within the movie, kind of something that was going on within the plot of the movie that I just thought was a little wonky. But other than that, the movie, I mean, it was just just great, and you really felt what she was going through through her performance, and that is what Oscar voters want. They want to feel what the actress is emoting as far as the character, and if that's the case, then she's going to get a nomination. I'll tell you right now, I'd be shocked if somebody else. I mean, Jessica Chastain's in the mix, and I would maybe go a little bit for Jessica Chastain over Stewart, but there's no doubt about it. Stewart gives a phenomenal performance as Diana Spencer, and she's definitely going to get nominated for the Academy Award, and she's definitely in the picture for a win because, I mean, unless somebody like Kidman, Frances McDormand, somebody like that comes out of nowhere. I mean, not that they're coming out of nowhere and just usurps her.
Yep.
Just takes over the public consciousness of like, wow, this is an incredible performance. And that's the only way Stewart or Chastain loses, I think.
Kristen Stewart fills the mold that they usually give the Oscars to, as Carey Mulligan did, as Jennifer Lawrence is, as a lot of actors have done, like, late 20s, early 30s, young, what a star, she was a teenage star, if you want to put it that way, but, like, people have forgotten Twilight because, honestly, her and Robert Pattinson, like, incredible actors, both of them, like, their work have speak to them, and you saw him with that performance, but she has going through it, like, she's liked by the general audience, I think. Well, by the teenage
She
girls
is.
that grow watching. Manning loves the Twilight movies. He's rewatching it. Manning, what do you think about the second one? I never
I do not like it. Holy cow! I do not like these series.
Oh, no, okay, just kidding. No, but I just think it's. I don't know. It's hard to buy in the Best Actress right now. Like, unless you have
I don't think. Oh, go ahead.
I cannot buy one right now. Like, no, I can't. Until I see the award shows giving awards, which probably we're gonna start getting by the end of the month, early of the next one. We're gonna see the AFF Top 100 and which films are getting recognized by all the fields or the awards bodies. So it's gonna be interesting. This show went way more than we should have. It's 1 hour and 50 minutes.
I know we did not plan it to go this long, but we did because I guess we've had so much to say because we missed a week. But no, National Board of Review is November 30th, so that's going to be the very first critics group, kind of quote unquote critics group, out the gate. So we're looking forward to that. But no, I don't think. Again, haha, I see the sarcasm. Thanks for reminding me that I didn't love Spencer. I'm very sad. But what I was going to say,
Spencer, didn't you?
No, I thought you were being. I love performance,
but that movie didn't.
I did. It was my most anticipated film of the year. I didn't like it. No, I didn't like it. Did you listen to our review?
The new
podcast. I just went for Twitter. I don't have time to even watch things I want to watch. So watching on with
Fair. No, yeah, I did not like Spencer. I did not care for Spencer, even though I loved her performance.
Then who's the person in Twitter that I follow that's always saying Spencer is great? I have to look.
I have no idea. I was one of my most anticipated films of the year, and I was praising how much I wanted to see it, but no, I didn't care for it that much. But anyway, yeah, no, I don't think she's a lock to win just yet because the movie is still kind of divisive. You look at some of the audience, if it's not being as well received. I need to see it do better than Jackie. That's the big thing because La La Land kind of that year that Jackie came out kind of took the cultural zeitgeist. I think she was number 2, Natalie Portman from The Buzz. I don't want to be like, I think Will Smith is stronger to win than Kristen Stewart is stronger to win, even though I think Kristen Stewart is still the front runner in the category personally, because she has the buzz surrounding her and some other crafts that might come with her. I need to see more though. Will Smith, again, is farther and away personally, I think, in his category than Kristen Stewart is, which I think it's a little more bottleneck because it's still kind of shaping out the category. But before we wrap up, Abe, you said that you were gonna keep predict Frances McDormand for Oscar number 4. Is that still something you're gonna do?
Yes, until the end of time.
Okay, so you think she's gonna win this year for Best Actress?
No, because I haven't watched the movie. I can comment on that. But I mean, you know, you want to watch. You both want to see that happen. Because you're gonna be seeing history.
Because I don't think they're gonna go for a movie where she speaks Shakespearean the whole movie. Denzel speaks Shakespearean the whole movie. I don't think the Academy are gonna go for that. I just don't. I mean, it's probably an amazing achievement by Joel Coen, but I just don't think the Academy is gonna go for a movie where it's completely spoken in Shakespearean. You know, it's Macbeth and all it's Shakespearean. It might get craft stuff like clothes, makeup, hairstyle,
cinematography,
separate stuff like that. Sound even maybe. But it's not going to get, I mean, it's not going to win. If these guys win actor, Denzel and Frances win for this, I almost, at this point, I would give up because it's like, how about give other people a shot? How about give, Chastain and Stewart. And,
I know. I don't think that. Yeah, I don't think that it's going to win in the Oscar tragedy of Macbeth. I could be wrong. I haven't seen it yet. But I think that it's going to be like a lot like, oh, we respect you. It's going to rack up some nominations, but it's not going to win them. I think they're going to be like this. We respect the achievement of what you guys were able to do with this. That's what I think could be the case. But anyway. That is our show. We definitely went a lot longer than I anticipated, but we had a lot to talk about and a lot to dissect. Being the Ricardos actually being great and being a force with Amazon to be reckoned with. House of Gucci kind of falling by the wayside. We didn't even talk about Swan Song and Mahershala Ali's apparently like fantastic double performance in that film that was getting rave reviews out of AFI Fest. Dan shaking his head like he doesn't think that's going to happen. I'm guessing.
No, I never heard of the movie.
Oh, you have?
No.
It's apparently
I don't know what the hell it is.
At AFI Fest just like gave it it was screened there, and it got like rapturous reviews for his performance, not the film, but his performance got great. I don't know if we can see Oscar number 3. We're not going to, but still good for him for giving a fantastic lead performance, which he has apparently quote unquote not given yet, even if Green Book was kind of like teetering on that edge. So
Loved him.
we didn't even talk about that.
I loved him in Green Book.
He is really good. He's a great actor. I love Mahershala Ali as an actor.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, we didn't talk about that, but oh well, there we go. We'll look forward to that and see if that starts to gain any traction. It may not, but we will see. Dan, as we wrap up, because I got to go eat some dinner, where can the people find you?
Oh, you can find me at Dan Skip Out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest. Also, I'm a film critic in Central Florida. I write for a website called disappointmentmedia.com. Also, my own personal blog, From the Fourth Row at .wordpress.com. It's not at WordPress. It's .wordpress.com. And now I am an official film critic with the Central Florida Film Association of Central Florida. So I'm going to be getting screeners. I already got 2 screeners for your consideration screeners, and I can't share them. If anybody asks, I cannot share them.
Nope.
And I will not share them. I'm not getting myself in trouble. So those are the places you can find me.
Don't do it, Dan. Don't do it. And Abe, where can they find you in the dark? Because he's in the dark.
You can follow me on Twitter at AbrahamF25 for all the Mamma Mia 2, Here We Go Again, and Shrek 2 Love, which I have not watched like in 3 months.
Oh, wow.
Because...
Things. Reasons. That's why. Yeah. All right. And you can find me, Manning Franks, here on Twitter at Cine_Man. That's CINE_MANN, as well as reviewing for WFMY News 2 once a week or every other week, depending on what the occasion should arise. This past week was The Harder They Fall, which I reviewed for the news station. You can find that on their YouTube channel as well as their website, as well as here hosting Gone with the Wind. What are we? We're a podcast. We're a podcast on Apple Podcasts. We are on Spotify. We're on Anchor, any site you can see us, as well as here at Take 3 Productions. You can find us right here on video format. Check out our Spencer review that we just did with Dan and I, as well as a special guest, Connor Lightbody, who had a lot to say about his praise for the film. It was a nice balance of opinions that we had dissecting the film. So we'll have that hopefully once a week and for Contender reviews. We're not sure which one this one is going to be because there is nothing that is open just yet near me. So very disappointing. We're going to find that out soon. But thank you guys for joining today, and I look forward to seeing you all in the future. Thank you for joining us.